For what merit it is in standing, if you do stand for a beating you deserve. Yeah. We know, I remember getting a spanking from my mama because I didn't do something she told me to. Anybody else get spankings when they were a kid? Come on. Come on.
We lived in the north. We outlawed spanking.
Well, I saw some hands raised, so it's okay. We in the South, sometimes I've known some people would say, "Son, go get your switch," and they'd have to go out and pick one. When I was a kid, my mom and dad had these two belts hanging on the key ring right as you walk through the door. There was one that was thick, and then there was the thin one. I think there was one time we chose the thin one, and that was a horrible, horrible mistake. But a lot of the spankings I got as a child, I deserved. And if there wasn't a belt at hand, my mom used her hand. And let me tell you, my mom worked construction. She slapped your face off, you were picking it up from the next house. Let's just put it that way. It says, but if you bear patiently with suffering when you are doing right. You did nothing wrong, and you're doing right. And because you did right, get that straight. Not because somebody's just going to beat you for doing right just for the heck of it, but because you did right, and it goes against their laws, their rules. God said it is grace. It is merit to you. It is credit to you. So yeah, that's the first phrase that we talk about. Oh, woe is me, I don't deserve this. The second phrase that we talk about. Second phrase that we get when somebody puts unjust suffering on us is this. I'm going to get you for this. Somebody hurts us, what are we going to do? Hurt them back, right? That's what we want to do. You punch me in the face, what am I going to do? I'm going to punch you back. You, an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, whatever. You know, you killed my dog, I'm going to tear down your tree. You know? I've seen that on TV. I saw that on a Matlock episode or one of these episodes, these legal episodes I've seen. The guy ends up killing somebody, and it all started because somebody chopped down a tree, so the man whose tree got chopped down killed his dog. The man who who got his dog got killed. He went and did something else to the man's house, and pretty soon one thing led to another. The guy's dead. What does the Bible have to say about that? Chapter 3, staying in 1 Peter. We could go to several other places in the Bible, but we're staying in 1 Peter. Verse 3, verse 8. I'll give you a second to get there because I want you guys to read along with me. Finally, all of you have unity of spirit, love for one another, a tender heart and a humble mind. Do not repay evil for evil, abuse for abuse, but on the contrary, repay with a blessing. It is for this that you were called, that you might inherit a blessing. For those who desire life and desire to see good days, let them keep their tongues from evil and their lips from speaking deceit. Let them turn away from evil and do good. Let them seek peace and pursue it. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are open to their prayer. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil. Now who will harm you if you are eager to do what is good? That's verse 13 is where we're stopping for the moment. So it's this. Love one another. Love one another. It's hard to love people, isn't it? Oh my gosh.
You gotta love yourself first.
It's true, you gotta love yourself first, but there is some, and God, even when you love yourself and you gotta love somebody else, how hard is that? You know, somebody just wrecks your car. Somebody calls you an idiot 50 times a day. Says you're stupid, you're no good. Get out of my life. I never want to see you again.
That's an absolutely horrible example. What would have made you think of that?
Exactly, stuff like that. I love you, Chris.
I'm always here for an object lesson.
Love one another deeply. You gotta love people. It doesn't matter how hard they are to love, how many times you have to just sit there and say, God, we gotta love them, gotta love them, gotta love them. You don't have to like them. Just gotta love them. It's gonna be hard. And it says, be in unity of spirit, being united with one another. If we are all connected, we have the same goal, the same vision, the same desire to be people of God, then unity of spirit. We don't all have to be alike. We don't all have to act alike, talk alike, walk alike, sing alike, sleep alike, whatever. Man, if everybody was alike, the same, if we all were the same person, I'd be bored. I like myself. I just wouldn't like all of you to be like myself.
Are you saying, when you're saying love one another, when another person does that kind of stuff and other things that are not, I mean, if you love somebody unconditionally, does that mean you're going to hang around them although they're hurting you, but try to teach them something different? Or what's the, I mean...
You can love sometimes you got to love people from a distance.
Well, that's easy.
But, yeah, well, if they're doing some stuff, well, if they're doing...
What is your definition of love in that sense? If there's no challenge.
That's a good question. You asked a good question. I hadn't thought about that part. But to love one another deeply. What?
Can I?
Go for it, Chris. Go.
All right. Well, the section immediately prior to this is dealing with wives and husbands.
Okay.
So I would presume, therefore, that doesn't mean that my presumption is correct, but I would presume it's talking about that kind of love for one another, not the kind of love for one another that's familial or what even things that we term as agape.
Yeah, I haven't done the Greek search on this, but it does talk about all of you. And it says have unity of spirit, sympathy, and love for one another. A tender heart and a humble mind. I think all of those things combined are what we need to think about when we do this, right? Unity of spirit. And yeah, these people are hurting us. These people are causing us to suffer. Do we hang out with them? I'm going to say no.
How can you have unity of spirit if you don't?
But within our community, I don't think it's the people who are causing these guys grief are outside of their community, abusing the whole community. But within our community, one of the things we talked about last week, or one of the things that Peter talks about is you guys got to be united as a group to stand against the suffering.
So don't let anybody that does that in.
Well, I don't know that I would.
I would think that you'd have to come and
Well, let's look on. Let's look at.
But try to.
Well, he does answer this.
Not teach necessarily religion, but try to.
He does answer it in the next couple verses. Let's read on. As a matter of fact, that's verse 9. It says, "Do not repay evil for evil." So they're going to give you evil. They're going to give you suffering. We don't repay back our evil with it.
Right, but
They launch some crap at us. We don't launch crap back at
no,
them.
but maybe you could not crap, but some kind of some kind of.
And then it says, let's read on. Let's read on. Actually, he does answer these questions. It says, but on the contrary, repay with a blessing.
So love your enemies.
Love your enemies.